That's a really good question.
I thought about wearing it, bling.
Wrestling's pretty good. Thank you. Anyone else?
You roll with the punches.
No, thank you.
I love to hear it.
Frank Castle is in my bones. Frank Castle is in my bones.
Like, you know what? I can't believe this.
And the things that I saw in him and that he saw in me too.
Was it hard for you to justify or come up with reasons in your head for why Omar would have people killed, kill people himself, and put his family in danger? I love talking to actors about approaching the character and humanizing and coming up with motivations and intentions. I'm wondering how you were able to wrap your head around it all.
Sure. Well, the first immediate bullet to the head of an actor is to make a judgment on the character they're playing. So I immediately didn't. I completely removed any judgment of who I thought this person might be, and instead said to myself, who is this person to other people? Meaning, I was hoping, as the character continued to develop and as I was asked to come back and do more episodes and continue and so on and so forth, I was hoping to try and develop a person that would have this kind of scenario. You're at Penn Station waiting for the train to go home. You're at the local bar having a beer before the train comes. And then you sit there and you have a conversation with a guy and he tells you what he does. And he says, oh, I have my own business. I run it. It's kind of an international business. And then I work with people and my family is important to me. And how about you? Well, your family, oh, that's a beautiful, oh, you're married, you have children. You have just a regular conversation with a guy at a bar. And then you get on the train and you go home. And a couple of weeks later, you watch on the news and you go, that's the guy who was just having the conversation, right? So that you don't ever get an opportunity, which we never should, to go, I know exactly who that guy is as soon as I look at him. It's the contrary to that. I wanted to make sure that I was an everydayer. I was an everyman, and I was a person who could have been running a fruit stand or a bodega or a car auto mechanic shop or any business. So I approached him from a man who's running a business. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you choose to view it, the business he runs has to have a specific kind of protocol. There's a certain set of rules that have to be adhered by in this particular business that I am in. Therefore, you see what I'm saying? It's kind of like you're in the wine business, you better know about your grapes. You better know about who's the competition. You better know about how grapes change and what to do with grapes when they're different and what happens if you have a bad batch. And it's the same approach is the approach I decided to take, which then again, at the same, what you just said, it brings him down to the ground. It humanizes him. And that to me was interesting and fascinating that if you didn't know, you wouldn't know.
Right.
That kind of thing. Right. So, because they are, it's just interesting because they are, drug lords are humans too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like a police officer is, just like a doctor is, just like a lawyer is, like a mechanic, like a superintendent, like a plumber. They're all human. So what's most interesting for me is to try and find that the guy, the character, the personality of the guy, rather than what he does.
When things got rough, it was the cost of doing that type of business.
It's the smart business choice.
Yeah.
It's a smart business choice.
Right. No, I totally get that.
Yeah.
How, when you're first preparing for the role, did you spend time reading about cartels and the way they do things, or did you watch documentaries? I was kind of curious how deep, if any, preparation.
No, I didn't. I wanted to shy away from it only because for three reasons. One is, again, I didn't want to try and I had resisted auditioning for roles like this for quite some time before I auditioned for this role. I was trying very hard not to contribute to something I didn't want to contribute to, and so I wasn't. But the irony is that I also wasn't getting the roles that I wanted to play at the time I was auditioning. I just wasn't getting them. And I remember one time just going, after about 6 or 7 rejections, I thought to myself in a row, I was sitting in my car and I thought, all right, universe, obviously I'm not getting what I'm asking you for. So you have something else in mind for me. So I will humbly accept and take on whatever it is that you think it is that I'm supposed to be doing next with my career as an actor. And then this audition came along. And so I took it from a place and I thought, oh, there is it. Here it is. Ironically enough, the very thing I've been shying away from for the last 5-10 years. I said, okay, well, if this is what I'm supposed to do, then I'm going to try to do it to the best of my ability, to a point where I can sleep well at night, where I can feel like I'm not betraying what I have been trying to fight for the last couple of years. And I thought, how do I do this? And that's when I came up with this idea that he just has to be a regular dude. He has to be the normal, regular guy. So I shied away from it a little bit. And also too, sometimes I'm a reference type actor, right? Where I believe that you really don't have a true opportunity to do a scene or a moment to the best of its ability if you don't have some kind of a reference. That's not to say that I went out and I started dealing drugs, but I do know what it's like to run a business. I have my own production company. I do know what it's like to have people look up to you and look for answers when there's a problem going on. I've had to manage people. I've had to manage relationships. I've had to be around people who are insistent and scary and dangerous. I've had to, just because of my life and who I am, I have those references. So I don't necessarily need to look for those. I knew that I could call upon my own life experience for certain moments in the script. And using the word script, it leads me to my next response to your question, which is, if on the page someone gets shot in the head, I can't do anything about that. That's on the page. That's the writing. It's gonna happen no matter what. It's like in Hamlet, it's gonna happen. It's already on the page. So to add to it or feel like you have to contribute something to it is, for me, unnecessary, because it's already there. It's gonna happen. No matter how you play the scene still ends with somebody getting shot. So how do we then play it to the most interesting level? How do we play it to the most unexpected level, like you said?